I'm doing well. I mean, this is my 25th year of college coaching, and so this is kind of the first spring that I've had off. Uh, when it comes to not being obviously involved in something greater than me with a baseball team, with a lot of young men, with trying to reach a goal, create some great memories. But on the other side of it, it's something that for me and my two sons, me and my wife, of 22 years, stuff like that. I mean, there's some good side to it on I guess in some selfish point of view, but staying in contact with a guy. We just finished finals this last week. We had a 3.49 team GPA, online on all online classes. I just communicate more individually. I do some group me stuff when we're trying to get some information out to everybody, but then the rest of it has really been between me and my assistants, just talking with guys individually, seeing how their workouts are going, stuff like that. We send them workouts via video, some hitting drills, stuff like that, just to give them some, a little piece of cheese, I guess, or something like that, to keep them interested, keep them fueled, hopefully give them something to work on and let them know that we're thinking of them.
Can you talk a little bit about, what it's like running a program during this? I know there's a lot of stuff up in the air for everybody right now, but in particular for baseball, what's it like for you, worrying about rosters and stuff like that?
Oh, I mean, I've said it almost the whole time. I mean, we live in a world we're a product of what our world is today. Today's kid, as we all say, well, today's kid is just part of today's world. And in today's world, with what has gone on with this situation, one of the biggest things we did was, well, it wasn't fair for our kids. And it wasn't fair for those seniors at those four-year schools. So what they're doing, well, we need to give them that time back. Well, if we're going to give seniors time back, then we need to give these other people, because that wouldn't be fair. And all the whole time I've really said that, I mean, there's things in life that suck. There's things that just aren't fair. And it probably in some cases you look at, and I've got a son that's in college. He plays for me here. He's a freshman. You just tear off the Band-Aid and you move on. But we don't do that. And so it is what it is. And what it's doing is it's going to back this up for the next 3 or 4 years. And I feel sorry for my son, that now he's in a situation for the next 4 years. It's just not going to be the normalcy of going through as a freshman, sophomore, junior, senior on certain roster numbers and having those opportunities. The opportunities are going to be harder. They think it's not fair being able to play this spring. You're going to see some hard explanations of what is fair on some of these rosters. My roster's bigger this year. I mean, recruits have asked me, 4-year transfers that are coming here have asked me, and I'm like, listen, anybody who's telling you that they're not going to have a few more, they might not be telling you all the truth. They might not end up being a very good program to play at. I mean, there's multiple things involved, and I'm not saying I had the answers. I'm just saying I'm a little bit older. I know I'm old school. I think life is not fair mentality. And I just look at, and I'm also a father with a son in the college system now and having to go through this. And, it, in some cases, just ripping off the Band-Aid and moving on and keeping things a lot more clean in the long run is something that I look at. But I really, other than having my opinion like everybody does, it doesn't go really past that. And I deal with the cards that we got. June 10th is the draft, and they're only doing 5 rounds. So, I mean, there's going to be kids that obviously aren't taken. There's going to be kids that are looking for places to go, whether it's a 4-year. Some of those 4-year kids aren't going to sign because there's only 5 rounds, so they're going to stay. So then there's other kids at those 4 years that need to go somewhere else. I mean, it is just, it is a Chinese fire drill, right? As we used to. I mean, it's just it's chaos without organized chaos. It's just chaos. So you got June 10th draft. I believe it's July 1st. The NCAAs have to start, they start signing their kids to scholarships for letters of intent. And so they got to, and they got so many of those. So there's going to be some reality there for some kids. So that's going to change, like who stays at 4 years, who goes to 4 years, who's going to go to junior college. And then the all be all is going to be Christmas time of this next year. After a fall at these Division Ones, where these Division Ones have 55 kids, excuse me, and all of a sudden, in December, when they can only have so many on the roster, then there's going to be kids looking for places to go at Christmas, and so there's just going to be continuous waves of stuff going on.
Obviously, we've gone through work stoppage years in Major League Baseball, but we've never seen anything like this. As somebody who makes a living off of baseball, how is it right now not having that opportunity to be a part of the game?
Oh, I make a living, but being part of the game, what I miss is you miss being around the kids. I don't feel 49 years old. I definitely don't act 49 years old. And it's because of what I've been able to do for so many years, and the kids keep you young, and you've got to be, you got to be able to have some energy and be able to move, be able to keep up, things of that nature. And so for me personally, it's just missing the being around the kids, watching kids grow up, both emotionally and then athletically and everything like that. I've never just sat here. Today we would have had a morning practice. If we would have qualified for the World Series, we would have been having a morning practice, your scheduled time, depending on where you're scheduled to play, starting tomorrow. And then we would usually go to Golden Corral on Fridays for lunch as a team. The only time we'd go there while we were in Grand Junction, and then go back, take naps, and then get them ready for the banquet, and then get ready to play the next day, and when you don't qualify for the World Series, you're sitting here today thinking about, well, we would have done this, we would have done that, and you're missing being out there, and then you're following the World Series from your office because you didn't qualify. But so, those are the things I think of right now. I don't know what it was, 2 or 3 days ago, I was just thinking of I think it was Wednesday, because that would have been the day we would have been pulling into Grand Junction if we would have qualified this year. And I sent a text to Jamie Hamilton, who obviously is the godfather of running that of Junior College World Series there in Grand Junction, and I just sent him a text. We're good friends. I love him to death. He loves me. And I just sent him a text letting him know I was thinking of him. And, I feel bad for the town. I feel bad for those people, because I know that, it's something that they work for, they live for, and they rely on in some cases. And, we don't appreciate what we have until we don't have it. We miss it. And I told Jamie, hang in there, because I know next year it's going to be bigger than ever, because once you miss it for a year, it's going to bring some people back. It's going to bring some new in, and I think it's going to be bigger than ever. No different than right here in Omaha, Nebraska, which our town is connected to. We're 10 minutes from TD Ameritrade Park, where the College World Series is. It's going to be the same thing there. It's going to be bigger than ever.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. Do you mind? Obviously, you just mentioned the audience. Can you tell the audience maybe a couple of your favorite JUCO memories? Would that be possible?
Oh my gosh! So actually, I was in a meeting earlier today with my coaching staff, and we were talking. And I said, we've gone to 12 World Series in just the last 15 years. And I've been coaching here. This is the start of my 19th year this fall, but I've been there enough, and it's kind of cool to say that I've really experienced everything. We've played that like 9 a.m. Saturday morning game and lost it. And then, so that means the very next morning you got to play like the 10 a.m. game, and lost it. I don't even think our bus was shut off, like we weren't even there long enough. We've obviously won every game and won the national championship. I mean, there's just we've been record setting. We've been there enough that we've been record setting. We lost a game to Central Arizona. And they had I think the final score was 28-19. And we lost that game. I was kicked out of the game. John Wente, the head coach for Central Arizona, who we're very good friends. We're very good friends, close. We sat out in the bus together out in this behind center field wall and listened to the game. And we talked about our time when he was the assistant coach at Central Arizona and I was the assistant at Yavapai at that time, and our families, his son Tyler, my son's name Tyler, just whatever. And as we're watching balls leave the ballpark past the bus that we were standing, that's no lie either. And we're listening to it. Then we got to a point where we both got frustrated with what our assistant coaches were doing. We actually shut off the radio for a while and we just sat there and talked and didn't give a rat's what was going on the field at the time. So those types of things. 2010, the little engine that could in 2010, where we're the northern team that wins the national championship. We had to beat Sanjak twice. We beat them on Friday. I think it was like 7-4, and then we won like 5-4 on Saturday, and the first northern team to ever win the national championship. That's obviously a great memory and something I take to my grave with me. And then be able to do it 2 more times. In 2012, we go 62-6. The cool thing about that one is my wife, because our 2 sons were young enough still, my wife was out there for the whole week. In 2010, she wasn't there. In 2014, when we won it, she wasn't there. Our kids were getting older. They got lives. They got games. We're trying to teach them commitment and for your team. So we weren't like taking them out of their sports just to go watch the World Series. So she had to stay home with them. But in 12, she was there the whole week. And she'll tell you that was her favorite time as well. Favorite memory was just being able to be there. So to have my family with me the whole week and then for us to win it, that was cool. And I got ways we've won games, just crazy. Way we've lost games. I mean, it's just, I got story after story. And again, being able to go 12 times. I mean, there's coaches that work their whole career just to try to go once. And it is something that every coach should experience once. And I've just, people use the word all the time. And when I was younger, I'd be like, come on, man, what they say, just how fortunate or blessed I've been. I can't believe how fortunate I've been to be able to experience that. I went twice as a player, so I've actually been there 14 times. And so to be able to take teams there as young men, I call them boys in men's bodies, and to have those life experiences that I know whether you win or lose, but they're going to take them with them for the rest of their lives. And more importantly, what got us there? The work is the reward. The work is, being at Grand Junction is icing on the cake type of stuff, but I do try to teach that, the Grand Junction in the World Series isn't what matters when you're working every day. The work is the reward. And kids, I don't want them to think that, if you work really hard, that's what you're going to get every time. That's not true. The game doesn't reward you like that. There's bad luck and good luck and everything, just like life. You can work your tail off and be minimum wage, and then you can just hit the lottery one day and you haven't done anything. That's life. So I just, there's so many life survival skills, as I call it, within all of this that, you're talking about this spring. What am I missing with these guys? Getting to help them continue to grow up and be ready for life.
I really do appreciate the time. I know coaches are good motivators. Is there anything you want to say to the people of Grand Junction right now amid all this?
No, like I said, I mean, I know it's tough. It's tough for everybody in their own ways. I mean, I'm saying that because I don't have a business in Grand Junction, or I'm, no different than Omaha. I get to see it because, as much as the friends and being there, as much as I've done and understanding the volunteers in Grand Junction and just what they put to the wayside and investing so much time and effort in the weeks leading up, the months leading up to it, and then that week there. it's, there's better times ahead. I mean, and I know some people just, yeah, that's great to say. I just got to hold on until we get there. Just hold on till you get there. Cause I just know no different than at Omaha, the Grand Junction setting, the Grand Junction people, the electricity of that place and the interest of that place for the last 60 some years. I really believe that it will be bigger and better than ever this next year. And I just really hope that maybe we're fortunate enough to be part of that again.